wonder what really happens in real estate? Well, this is why we're here. We're going to talk about the real, raw stories of real estate. We're going to have guests on here. We're going to give you the inside stories that you usually don't hear about, and the stuff that makes you say, "Are you for real?" Yeah. So, I'm Bubba Thompson. I'm joined here once again.
I'm Jeff
co-host. Who?
Jeff Dowden.
Speak up, Jeff.
Jeff Dowden, local realtor.
Yeah.
I'm already too far away from the mic.
No, you're good. Yeah. See you.
There we go. Oh.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
And said, "Hey, man, make sure that mic." And you were sitting down.
There we go.
And then all of a sudden,
right. Maybe
we go live, and you stood up.
Next week I'll get a handheld. Just carry it around with me.
Yeah, we'll have to get you a lapel.
I'll get the John Madden, like the.
You know what? We actually do have those.
Yeah.
We for real. We have those headsets and wrap around stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so
next week.
Pretty cool.
Next week.
Yeah, next week.
Maybe Target will provide them for us if you don't.
Yes. Have so yeah, we had a sponsor last week.
We're working on it still.
Yeah. Did they ever call us?
Well, I've called them relentlessly.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this week we're talking more about real estate.
More about real estate. We're keeping it real.
Keeping it real on real estate. I think this week's topic is going to be about photography. We're going to bring a guest in a little bit later. Our first guest. Yeah. If you want to be a guest on the show, make sure you comment, let us know, because we're always going to be looking for some guests. You don't have to be in the real estate industry. We're actually probably looking for some like new buyers, home buyers, first time home buyers.
We're looking for leads. No, just kidding.
Yeah, we're looking for leads.
You're a prospect out there.
Yeah, we're prospecting. That's what this is all about. Yeah.
Actually, that's 100% what we're trying to avoid doing. So is doing the sell and prospect. So we are keeping it real. And are you for real? So if you want to come on here and tell real stories, then that's what we're doing. So.
Yeah, that's right. We don't want to cross the line too much. Mm-hmm. We don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But, I think it's worth telling.
I'm a habitual line crosser already.
Yeah.
So
I like to push the envelope a little
you just
bit.
let me know if I'm stepping over.
Yeah.
Just cue me up. Step it back.
Yeah, step it back. We'll get the hook or whatever, right? But anyway, we're going to talk about, photography. And, right now in real estate, it's not the same as it was,
Nope.
2-3 years ago, and people still think it is, but it's not. And it's hard to convince people like we're not in that stage anymore. And I don't know if you notice as much as I do, but buyers are real picky right now. Mm-hmm. They have a ton of choices.
Yeah.
And they're not just buying whatever they see first.
No.
Right? So they're going through. So, some of this stuff I see, when you go to these listing appointments, it's like, you're going to have to do a lot to get this thing ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I think during COVID and post-COVID, when, you could show up, get your photography done, put a sign in the yard, the minimal amount of marketing, and you still had buyers. But now it's a lot of prep work, a lot of prioritizing and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. So now, real estate agents have to actually work now.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So, we're going to weed out all the newbies. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily newbies, because you got some new agents that are rocking and rolling.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of them hustle more than what would you call it, oldies?
Yeah.
The oldies.
The oldies.
The newbies and the oldies.
Yeah.
So, but it's a different... The game transitioned a lot during that time, too. I think we talked about, with marketing and social media and stuff last year, and it's left a lot of the agents that have done it one way for so long kind of either out in the dust or like trying to catch up to whatever is going on now. So, yeah.
And the trends, they change a lot.
Every day.
And so you got to keep up with that. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing we're going to talk with our guest about today, is these trends in photography.
Yeah.
And just in the media in general. So it's not all about photography anymore. You have to have that great photography, but there's more. The micro content you got to go out there and do. Showing off the properties, the community is more important than anything.
Oh, a lot of it. You're selling a lifestyle,
Yep. Selling the lifestyle.
And you got to have like 8 different channels to put it on now. So it's like the way it's shot and informed and everything too. So you got to know like formatting.
Yeah. That's true, because you put it on something and it looks like crap, and then you're like, you're wasting your time. Here, yeah. But anyway, so I want to talk about, so like in the past, when you go to some houses, you know, just showing houses, like
Yeah.
what's something you've seen that's been kind of wild?
Well, I showed one yesterday that was just terrible.
Oh, a recent. No, just, yeah.
I showed one of Bubba's listings yesterday, just for who was it in Wisconsin? The lady we were talking to last time from SmartList, Trish in Wisconsin. Yeah, I showed one of Bubba's listings yesterday. So but no,
and I sent you a feedback request, and I haven't seen that yet.
Oh man,
are you one of those agents that are scared to send feedback now?
I'm so busy
because of all the.
Well, there was the lawsuit. Did you hear about the lawsuit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like nobody wants to send feedback anymore.
I just get the ones that just says no.
Yeah. No.
So, no, I'll send feedback.
I'm just
I'll
messing
get
with
to
you.
it, Bubba. I promise.
No, I figured. I see you're trying to book the other house.
Yeah,
well.
yeah. You need to let the Airbnb people go so that we can get in there and see it.
They should be out Sunday. I think he responded to you and sent. And
did he?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. So
maybe I'm the lazy agent that just doesn't do feedback or pay attention.
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway. What was the question?
I don't know. Oh, some crazy stuff you've seen, like when you go to maybe show a property.
Okay.
Like,
wow, showing a property. I mean, there's.
I'll tell you one. I had a listing one time.
Okay.
And then we ended up putting a tenant in there, which I didn't like that idea, but
never a good idea.
But the seller wanted to go out and lease it, and it was a good amount. But he put the tenant in there, and oh my God! So one day I scheduled an appointment, notified tenant, right?
Yeah.
Tenant said it's good to go. I scheduled it the night before. Good to go. So he said 10 o'clock in the morning. So the next morning I go in. I walk in. Turn on all the lights.
Was he naked?
Showing off the house. Yeah. But naked in the bed, man. I was like, oh, passed out.
What is it with tenants sleeping naked, man?
I don't know.
I had one in Denton a few weeks ago like that.
Yeah.
Like we were on time, and luckily it wasn't me. It was my buyer. He walks upstairs. We call him the ghost now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we saw a ghost, but he just stand there. I think he's getting out of the shower. He's just free.
No, this dude was passed out on the bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He never even knew we were there.
That's good.
Never knew. I mean, we were like showing the house, like in the kitchen, living room, and all that, and then walked down the hallway, bathroom, and then walked into the bedroom, and there he is, just sprawled out.
There he was,
face down though.
Yeah.
Face
down, ass up, right?
Yeah, face down, ass up. That's right. Yeah. So that one was pretty wild.
Yeah, I think if you've been in real estate any number of years, you've walked in on somebody naked at some point. So
at some point, I mean, I think that's a given.
Yeah.
You know, when I was first getting into real estate, like you heard the stories, and you're like, yeah, that'll never happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So you work with investors too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you look at some of those properties.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I could go on all day about having tenant occupied properties trying to do showings.
Yeah.
I'll save you the boring ones of that. As far as I think you're talking about doing listing prep, it's specifically with an investor. So, I was working a portfolio with this one local investor, and we go, they're getting ready to sell off their single family portfolio. Well, me and the guy on the ground walk into this one, and it's like trashed. I mean, there's garbage everywhere.
Yeah.
There's, it's like beds are flipped over. I don't know how you can make toilets look the way people make toilets look. And this one is, I don't know why, I always fall back on this. This one just has a half-eaten banana laying on the ground. I'm like, as I know the movie, I was like, just eating a banana. Like, that's good there. Like, so I don't know. This investor's like, just sell it all. We're going to sell like a couple of them. He's like, just sell the whole portfolio. I don't want to deal with this anymore. So I don't know, where these tenants get. Yeah.
I walked in, I was showing property for, with an investor. They always want to take some, these crappy, junky homes and turn them into something. And some of them do a good job at it.
Some do a great job.
We were looking at one time, and I noticed that we walked up to the door, and the door was cracked open. Mm-hmm. It's in a rough neighborhood already, so I'm already leery. So I pushed the door open, and I was telling her, I said, just stay out here and let me, make sure everything's clear first. So I walk in, and I could see back through the kitchen, and I see there's a back door back there kind of move, and I could see daylight, and I knew somebody was in there.
Yeah.
So I walked back through the kitchen, slowly, and I look in there, and somebody was definitely in there. I mean, there was stuff all over the stove.
Yeah.
I mean,
probably bologna.
Yeah, bologna and salami and some sandwich bread.
Cold cuts. We might have showed the same house because I had that exact same story.
Yeah. So it gets pretty pretty wild and hairy out there.
It's always fun to call the listing agent and be like, hey, you got a squatter. And they're like, oh.
Yeah. We talked last time about, when I was selling one of my properties and I actually ended up with a squatter.
Yeah.
It was a little bit different because, I thought we were under a real estate contract, but it was just some dude trying to get his foot in the door.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. I guess they, need somewhere to sleep. They get in there, but it's the stuff they have. You can always tell because it's like, for some reason, they always have animals. There's like always a bowl of cat food and then like a loaf of bread. So it's like bare minimum living.
Yeah, it always is. But I don't get, like I said, I guess they're just looking for a place to rest their head. And I think, you've heard the horror stories. If they get in there, and they hook everything up, all the utilities and everything. It's tough to get them out. Yeah. Like there was there's one big story in like California or something. They've been trying for like 10 years.
Are you talking about the Airbnb story?
Oh, yeah, that one too. Yeah.
I heard that. I don't
know that's a wild one.
Legitimacy of that.
Yeah.
Like the lady was sleeping in her car while the guest stayed in the house the whole time or something like that. So I've seen, and I know we talked about this before, when they scam or replicate like a listing and put it on like Facebook Marketplace or something to get deposit. But I've never seen an Airbnb one like that. So that's very interesting. Yeah,
that the deposit for rental and stuff like that. It's still out there, I think, but not as, I think that was back when Craigslist was big.
Yeah, it initiated Craigslist.
But now it's Marketplace, right?
Yeah. Honestly, you got to be kind of a sucker to fall for it now. It's like 2-bedroom cottage in Dallas for $900 a month. Like,
you're like,
what a deal.
Yeah, let's go check that out.
Really, almost take my money.
Yeah, so. They do that with the cars now. Like you'll see this, 2016 Honda Accord, 12,000 miles for $6,500 or something. You're like, man, no way, it's too clean.
Clean title.
Yeah.
They get you. So we've been shopping for a couch lately, and kind of looking on Marketplace as well. And it was like literally the same couch for the same amount with like 4 different people listing it. I don't know the scam. I guess people pay up front.
Some do. Some will Venmo. I list a lot of stuff on Marketplace, but I shop for a lot of stuff on Marketplace, and I'm, you kind of know, you can kind of tell when something's
been on there for a
weird.
While,
if you have something, is this still available? Then it's like, what's your address?
Yeah.
I usually try to meet them somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Or wait till I know that they're on their way.
Do you ever put stuff on Marketplace? That's a beating. That is a beating. We got a new kitchen island, so I put this one on the curb. I just literally, it's like free pickup. People get mad at me. They're like, why are you not holding this for me? I'm like, it's on the curb.
Oh, yeah.
Just go pick it up.
No, I had something. Yeah.
One lady messaged me. She's like, thanks for nothing. And I'm like,
yeah, they're brutal, man. They can be. So I don't know. It's just another avenue.
Yeah.
I don't put my house listings on there. 'Cause I don't.
I have done lease listings on there before, and that's a nightmare.
So when you I don't do leases very often, but do you put them on Zillow or?
Well, I don't either. This was for one specific developer that I worked with. But we were kind of struggling to get it. We had like 12 units. We had to get them all leased out, and we were like 60% capacity. So I'm like, all right, let's try Facebook, But it was. I had one guy call me. He's like trying to rent it for a crew, I guess a construction crew. He's like, I'm like, how many people? He's like, it's gonna be like 10 people living there. I'm like, no, you can't do that. So, but it's wild.
I had one. Speaking of leases, leases are a lot of work.
Oh, they're a nightmare.
Like was it 16 pages? Just the contract itself. That's not including everything else that's involved. But I had one. We leased a house 3 or 4 years ago. Then he calls me up and wants me to amend it to extend the lease for the current tenant. So I'm like,
was this your tenant or the landlord?
No, the landlord.
Oh yeah, yeah. There is a section like for renewals, but I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, but it's so people know like you can do leases yourself.
Yeah.
You can really do it all yourself.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but
well, you got to know the forms and what you're doing and all that stuff.
Don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were just talking about earlier.
We're in no way giving advice, legally advice right now. So
Yeah, we are not lawyers.
not lawyers.
So that's
disclaimer right here.
Yeah, disclaimer. So which is funny.
So can you put that on the screen? Can you just scroll that for us?
Yeah. We are not
This is
lawyers.
not legal advice. The opinions expressed here in this episode were
Yeah. So, speaking about not being lawyers, not giving legal advice, but yet we give contracts,
yeah.
right, that are written by these lawyers. And we do have to explain, our contracts. I mean, are we crossing the line as agents doing that?
I mean, since it's promulgated, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm sure you could probably real easily cross the line if you wanted to. If you're
If you're not just reading it word for word.
Yeah, if you're starting to like special
Elaborate.
provisions, we're very well instructed to stay away from special provisions.
And
So.
you call that the lawsuit paragraph there. Yeah, just waiting. But I see it all the time.
Oh yeah,
I've
had people put non-realty items in special provisions before.
Yeah. I've seen that.
I'm like, did you write this?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, and if you do put something in there, you have to get who wrote it and
Yeah. Put it in an email for the broker and yada yada
all
yada.
that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a segment that we do here every time, and one of them is the red flags. So we're going to get into our red flag segment here. So, Jeffrey, what are a couple of red flags when you're going looking at a property, whether buyer, seller, listing, whatever it is? What's some red flags?
A big one for me, a red flag to watch out for when you go to meet for a listing appointment. I mean, we come through with our comps, our data, market research, and when the seller immediately starts quoting their estimate, that's a bit I'm like, oh, I'm in for trouble. You know what I mean? And I'm not one of those realtors that fight Zillow. Like, Zillow's my friend.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a great search engine, hands-on for buyers to, takes a little, I use it sometimes to kind of guide my parameters to what they're looking for. But, man, when the sellers bring up this estimate, I'm just like, we're in for it.
Yeah.
But the fun part about it is I've gotten to where I've kind of, initially I was like, okay, whatever. I've gotten to where I can kind of use it as a tool because I can either educate them. I can take it with okay, here's what this estimate's pulling in. Here's what this looks like. Do you want this estimate or do you want to get this? Or if it's in a diverse area, then it's like pulling. It's like, well, it's also pulling in these houses over here. They're nothing like your house. So it can create an educational moment. But just strap your boots on when they.
Yeah, and if you know what you're looking for, obviously you do. And if you'll notice, on those estimates, it once something is listed, it adjusts. It goes down.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just,
I call it setting this estimate.
Setting this estimate, and I'll red flag for me. I'll stay on the kind of similar is the tax appraisal.
Oh, okay.
The property tax appraisal.
Yeah.
When you go in, you're talking about the values, and you have all your comps, and you're looking at everything, and then you get the property tax.
Yeah.
Estimates. Rather, that's a buyer too, right?
Yeah.
So a buyer goes, well, hey, this is this, or the seller, vice versa. It's like, okay, would you sell it at?
Yeah.
That you're,
I don't. If a seller uses it, it's usually beneficial because then you got it's actually probably going to be worth quite a bit more.
Yeah. So,
but a buyer using it to negotiate, it's a different ball game.
Yeah, it's a different ball game. So you kind of, I kind of look at those as like little red flags. If that's only if, but then again, these customers or these clients, they don't have the tools we have.
No.
So that's really their tools. So I mean, you don't blame them or fault them for using those because that's what they have.
And I think also it's if you can self-educate, if they're educate themselves coming into it, then it's makes my job easier.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, well, let me show you the real data. As opposed to like, oh, you've never done this before. I have to carry you from the start to the finish, and which is our job. I'm not complaining about it, but it gives you a leg up. So.
Or the so and so's house is listed at this price. Well, it's listed, and it's been out there listed for 400 days.
Or the one that when they said that my neighbors sold 2 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
The 60-foot lot and the infinity pool.
Yeah.
500 more square feet. So.
Yeah.
Which will take me to another red flag and this is I don't know if is this a red we'll red flag this one. Sellers that give value to the paint job they did. That one is it's I don't know if it's a red flag or if it's like a cringe for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to break your heart right now, aren't I?
Yeah. What kind of paint was that again?
Yeah, it's like, okay, so your house can sell for $200. Oh, I put $15,000 worth of lime green paint on it. I'm like, yeah, so we're probably gonna have to bring that price down because somebody's gonna want a credit to repaint this house, So it is one of those, and it's like a whole. And you can attest this as well, like an emotional thing for sellers. Mm-hmm. It's like my house, I did this. This is what I chose to do. But it's like you want it blank slated for a buyer, So
yeah, as much as possible, matter of fact, we were talking about doing some things around our house, and in my
yours is definitely going to add value.
Yeah, but and literally, like when I'm thinking about doing something at my property, I'm thinking resell.
Oh yeah.
No, we may never move from there, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm not gonna. Okay, would someone else want this? I don't want to be too custom.
Yeah,
because then you won't.
Well, I would advise you as a realtor to step out of that because my wife and I we redid our kitchen, and that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what would the market dictate for this? And we still love our kitchen, but sometimes I'm like, oh, we should have went a little more bold with that or this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
No, I get it. Yeah. So I have a father-in-law that's, he has a vehicle or something, he wants to sell it, right? So he'll take, whatever he thinks it's worth, and then he'll add, well, I put new tires on it. I changed this, how many oil changes I had. Yeah. I put this fuel on it, and all this. And so he thinks that just because you're doing regular maintenance, that adds the value. No, that's supposed to be done. Like a new roof on a house, right? Yeah. Just because you spent 20 grand on a roof doesn't make the house worth 20 grand more.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Go ahead and put 20 grand more on there for this comp.
Yeah.
It's like, everybody in your neighborhood got new roofs during that storm, right? So.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the values and comps and all that, pools, if a client seller, if they have a pool, even if $200,000 pool, they think it adds all that value. It does to the right buyer, right? But as far as an appraiser, I think what is it max, like 20 grand,
something like that. Yeah,
I've heard 10 and 20.
Yeah.
It kind of varies.
I think it differs from appraiser to appraiser, but I talked to a local appraiser a while back, and he actually did break it down. He goes, if you can find 3 houses in the 3 comps in the exact area, same everything with the same style pool, then you can give it that value. If not, then appraisers don't look at it. So
we were fighting an appraisal one time, and I contacted 3 different appraisers, and they were all pretty much across the board. I think they said like 20 grand or something is all they were all they would give on a pool. And I was like, man, these people spent 200 grand on it, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no.
Should we have a solar panel conversation or save that for later?
Oh my God. No, that's going to be a whole new.
Yeah. Well,
I actually do. I have a guest for the solar panel.
Okay.
I really do.
Is he a solar panel salesman?
No. Oh, okay. He got sold though. And so I was talking to him, and I was like, oh, this would be a good subject.
Yeah.
Because what he thought he was getting and how it actually works is totally different.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about reselling the house.
We're not talking about
what we're
lien.
going into there.
You're talking about like the banking of the energy and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a whole different show, But this one, like we said, we're talking photography.
Yeah.
And we're talking about getting that house ready.
Photographers hate taking pictures of houses with solar panels, just FYI.
Do they? Well, we're going to find out. So, we have our guest today. You want to introduce him, Jeff?
Yeah, I will. So we're bringing on Valentin with Jireh Media.
Jireh.
I met Valentin probably 4 years ago?
3
years ago.
3 years ago, yes.
And, I was with Remax at the time, and he had walked into the office, and I think I was the only person there that day. And,
besides the lady in the front, but that's it.
Okay, well, she's not a realtor, so.
Oh, so we're talking real stuff.
Me and Kim,
realtor stuff.
Me and Kim were there. Anyway, gave him a chance, and he's did awesome. I've been with Valentin ever since. So, Valentin, welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for
you here. Yeah, and so how I met Valentin is really through social media.
That's right.
Right, just seeing him on social media and all that, and I have a photographer I've used since the get go, but it was coming to where I couldn't get them in a timely manner to get some of my photos shot. And so I thought, I didn't know you, but I knew you from social, and I watched all your stuff, and I thought, this is guy's got to be legit. So I think I Facebook messaged you, right?
Yes, it was through Facebook. Yeah.
And then
it was great.
And I think I did like 4 or 5 in a row or something.
I know.
Crazy.
He's like
Just
back
boom,
to
boom,
back.
boom, boom. Yeah.
He was back to back. He's good.
So I got another one for you next week as well. So
we'll take care of it.
Anyway.
Bubba keeps his photographers on retainer because he's so busy.
Right.
He's one of the best in town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, every time you say that, I got to pay you some money.
Sponsored by Valentin.
That's funny. I remember when Jeff messaged me the first time. He's like, "Man, can you give me a quote?" I was barely starting, and he said, "I want a quote on everything." And I remember sending you like a quote, and it was like outrageous, man. It was like, "There's no way," I was
$1,500.
It was. I was learning. I was learning, and then it was a few months later. He's like, "I just need a video. All right, let's do it."
Yeah.
But so we see a lot, and we do a lot of stuff in Jireh Media.
Yeah. So what got you into photography?
Well, I was a school teacher for about 9 years, and I mean, one day I just woke up and I told my wife, "I think I'm ready to do something else." And she said, "Were you thinking about quitting teaching?" I was like, "Yes." Well, she said, "Well, let's go to Best Buy and buy a camera because you're gonna take photos of weddings." So as you guys know, weddings, it's a lot of hours. So I did my first wedding. I was like, "No, I don't want to do it." Yes, yeah.
Bridezillas.
Yeah, that's it. And I got home tired. My feet were hurting, and I was like, "There's gotta be something else." Somebody's taking photos of houses, and I started watching YouTube videos. And a friend of mine reached out, and he's like, "Hey, man, I got a photos." He's an investor. I was like, "I got it." And I go back to see those photos, and they didn't look nothing what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not a wide angle or anything like that. And we're here 3 years later, and we're a team of 2. My brother, he's my main guy, and we have another guy in Forney that he helps here and there, and I love it. It's pretty cool stuff. We get to meet awesome people. And
like Bubba
like you guys, of course, man. That's why we're here, right?
We jumped all over that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Going like this, yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So it's been great. It's a great journey.
Yeah.
Am I gonna go back to teaching? Probably not.
So you used to teach
fifth grade.
Fifth grade. Yeah.
But we're here, and we like to take photos of houses, and it's awesome, man. It's great.
So you do photos, but you also do video.
Yes. So we
long
do the
form,
photos.
short form.
Both. We do long form, short form. We do drones. We do a little bit of everything, really. Virtual staging, twilight photos, 360 tours. I mean, you name it. It's just a lot of stuff that it goes within just the real estate photography part.
I think one of the things, it was kind of when I first started doing social media video as well, was when Valentin and I started working together.
Yeah.
He was doing the vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As part of the package. And
yes.
As you know, somebody shoots, it's like, that's so tedious. And to be able to just like have that all in one, because you're like, I got to go clip it and format it and do this, this, and this. So he was, as far as like locally, I mean, they were doing it in Dallas and that kind of thing. But I was like, okay, so he does that. And we do some YouTube stuff together now.
Yep.
So
that's fun. Doing the YouTube part is fun. It's cool. I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what I was mentioning earlier. So it's not just about the photography anymore.
Yeah. No, not at all.
You have to do everything.
Yes. Yeah. Especially
it's attention.
That's what it is.
You got to grab their attention one way or the other.
It's first impressions. Right?
Exactly.
First impressions. I think you have to do more than photos.
Yeah.
More than photos. I mean, photos are good, but if you want to go to the next level, video is it. As you guys know, you guys are really good at video. You guys know this stuff, but people want to feel hooked.
I'll Venmo you later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to do all that.
Everything.
Now, what's some? You go to a lot of these houses.
Yeah.
So what's some of the stuff, like some crazy stuff like you've seen, like where you walked in and
Oh my gosh.
I mean, do you see stuff and you go, I'm not shooting this, or do you see it and you shoot it anyway, or do you clean it up, or I mean?
Yes, I mean, I've seen some crazy things. one of the things that really was very crazy, I get a call from an agent from Durant, and he said, "Hey, I need photos, but I'm just gonna give you a heads up. You're gonna find something in the master bath." And so I'm thinking, he said he's gonna be somebody's ashes in the master bath. I thought it was plain. So next day I go show up and I'm taking photos, and then I remember. So I go to the master bath, and on top of the counter, there's a little Ziploc bag from Walmart, and
Just
there's
a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, and there's like these white ashes in there, and he said the name of the person and the year that that they were, whatever, he was cremated or whatever. I didn't know if it was a joke or not, but eventually, so I had to move, so I literally was grabbing somebody's ashes.
Was it a vacant house?
It was vacant. It was a mobile home.
Just the ashes made it.
Yeah,
Bro,
he was the only one that stayed in the house.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't think that was ashes.
He's like, "Oh, there's some ashes in the house, man."
And the guy's like, "Hey, can you take my ashes to Texas? Here's an address."
Hey, just go ahead and drop them off at the next listing.
You're gonna go. Took
There'll
a
be a
selfie,
guy, there'll be a guy out front.
Yeah.
To meet you.
Took a selfie, sent it to the agent. I was like, "Man, you're right. Somebody's ashes in here, but I'm just gonna put him in here, okay?" And then he's staying in the house.
Yeah.
I got chased by a cow one time.
Oh.
Yeah, and I tripped, and on top of a piece of wood, I had a nail, and did a little cut on my part of this leg, and it's crazy.
You have to get the tetanus shot and all that stuff.
I didn't do it that one time, but I'm still here.
Toughed it out, huh?
Toughed it up a little bit. Yeah, just clean it up and let's go to the next
So
one.
I got a question for you. This is one I've run into with a few photographers. Flying drones.
Yeah.
How do the neighbors?
Oh,
do
gosh.
they typically? I know you're kind of like labeled up and got the shirts and stuff all branded, but how often do they come out and like get in your ass about don't you be there? Like,
Yeah.
You know.
It's happened to me twice in 3 years.
Yeah.
But recently happened to my other photographer.
Okay.
I think it was 2 weeks ago. He's flying, taking, I think it was like, 36 acres, maybe more, I don't know. So there's a neighbor, and he just comes out and drives to where he's parked, and he's like throwing a fit, why are you flying the drone over my property or my air? I mean, to that point, like, this is my property, you cannot drive, you cannot fly the drone. And I mean, my guy's freaking out, right?
Yeah.
And so eventually,
36 acres. I mean, you have John Dutton showing up over there. This is my land.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a couple of. I mean, I had a time where a lady, she's like, "My son say that there's somebody flying a drone in here." I was like, "Yeah, it's me. I'm just taking photos of this place, and we'll make sure that they don't come out in the video." I mean, she was so mad.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Especially with probably kids involved and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
but there's only been a few times, that happened. I think in this area it doesn't happen as often than like the city, Like if you go more
Is the
south.
city worse?
Yeah, people want to see who's flying the drone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they come out and
You
bring their
get
drones
the
out.
Karens.
What is
You
that?
get all the Karens.
I have not yet, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's some out there.
I got the cops on the phone.
Yeah, he's flying the drone in my house. Whatever.
You're
But
spying on me.
yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to a photographer one time, and she actually had someone come out and dude like pulled a shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I mean, like legit. Yeah,
I don't know what I would do there.
This dude. She had her.
Shit
Yeah.
yourself.
Here, you can have the drone. It's all
I know,
yours.
it's like, I mean, people get nuts, but I get it. I've had it. Some listings done. Aerials done, photos, and then I've actually had an agent call me and say, "Hey, it's a sold listing. Hey, there's a photo still up, and it shows my backyard from the aerial."
Oh yes, I've heard that before.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
They don't want their nice backyard and pool in the shot.
Well, also, like the copyright stuff, but do you pull after you sell, do you pull your photos or do you leave them up?
most of them I'll leave up.
Leave up. So I've heard it where, photographers want you to pull it, but also the new owners, because I've heard the tax assessor goes in.
Oh.
Yeah. They can see all your upgrades and that kind of thing. So
Yeah, that's true. And so speaking of tax assessors, I had a client one time that they were trying to fight their taxes, and then the tax assessor in a message, their message said, "Well, you paid this for it. We saw where you paid this for it." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah. So who's allowing you?
And it was a cash deal.
MLS access tax assessor.
Yeah, right.
Don't tread on me.
Yeah. So once again, we are not lawyers here.
Yeah.
We're not giving advice.
Disclaimer, Luke.
Yeah,
Let's put it up there just in case.
Also, I'm definitely getting audited.
Yeah,
now.
see, there you go. Disclaimer right there. Look, he's got it up there. What does that say there, Jeff?
Sorry. Oh, there it is. Real estate does not mean lawyer. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting sued.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're all going down with you, man. All right.
Yeah.
Call Chip. Get my taxes in order.
Get that property yourself.
Yeah.
See, you shouldn't have did that customization on that kitchen.
I know. I talk bragging about it up here.
Yeah.
15,000 right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Mr.
Make sure you
Shane.
get good photos for that kitchen, right?
Yeah. So we've all seen some
Oh,
crazy stuff, and
Oh yeah.
when you go to these lists, is there any like tips or whatever you should give?
Yes.
Guys like us,
Oh man.
other
So
agents for our sellers.
so many things. It's just like when you get a call and they give you the green light, house is ready for photos, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go and the house is not ready for photos. Literally, just people are moving, and then I'm taking photos while they're moving boxes, and and I mean we can move some things here and there, but I mean they literally store everything in boxes, and everything is like in the living room, So we take the photos. Can you shop that out? Can you shop it out? Yes, we can. Sometimes it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that takes time though, man.
It
Go in
does.
and Photoshop stuff.
It does.
It's a lot of work.
Especially if it's like on 5 photos, it just takes time, And, AI does good, but doesn't do
No,
that
it's not
good.
perfect.
Yeah. So, want to just have the house ready for photos. I think it's very important, Just have it ready, and I think it's going to help a lot and make it faster,
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen a lot of things. Like, I've seen photos where the toilet seat is open,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like a pet peeve. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried. So, if I'm available, I try to go in, turn off ceiling fans, turn all the lights.
Ceiling fans are a big one.
Yeah. And,
Oh,
and
ceiling
close
fans,
all
yeah.
the toilet. Because I know that's what y'all, just
Yeah.
experience. I know that's what y'all like,
Yeah.
But there's been times, and you may know, that I had no control or I wasn't there,
Yeah.
and the house was a mess,
Yeah. Yeah.
Trash
something,
cans.
oh, trash can.
Trash cans.
One
Put
thing
them
that
aside,
one thing that I really don't like is when the ceiling fan does not have the little chain to
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
it, and you cannot turn it off.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to put a good fan in there or something similar on the photo, especially if it's like a nice house,
Yeah.
There's something else that really gets under me. It's like blankets on couches.
Oh yeah. For like,
So-
the
yeah.
dogs or just for sitting
there's
on.
sometimes these Christmas blankets in there, and it's like summer.
Yeah.
There's no, just remove those things.
If it's my house, it's Halloween because Birdie has some of it.
Yeah. And so that's something I, like my sellers, if it is like Christmas or something like
Yeah.
that, and they have the Christmas tree up and presents
Yeah.
and all that, I'm saying, let's,
Yeah, we had to. Sometimes
let's
we
open
had
those
to.
presents a little early and let's get this out of the way because you take those photos and
Yeah.
it dates it.
Yeah.
It's
Now
right,
people, oh my God,
exactly.
let's just back
Well,
in
and I
Christmas.
think also for a buyer, it depersonalizes the house, and also
Yeah.
it's like how
That's true.
serious is this person really trying to sell? Like they're,
Mm-hmm.
if it's like October and the Christmas tree's up, it's like how long you plan on being here?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it kind of,
Yeah.
like are
I
we
mean,
seriously trying to sell or? Because
and
I try to advise people. I'm like, the thing you want to do is depersonalize the house as much as possible.
That's and it helps a lot. I mean, there's times that we have to move photos
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
and I mean, you go to a house where they have like this huge painting
Mm-hmm.
of the dog or whatever, we have to bring it down. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I mean, there's times that I have to go back after like a
Yeah.
Christmas session or not session, but a Christmas time session that I did, because now the Christmas tree is not there. So I have to
Yeah.
go in the car and let's reshoot it again. But I think doing all those things really helps. And another thing that I don't know if photographers really pay attention to this, but those little magnets on the fridge
Oh yeah.
and all the artwork from their kindergarten, and kindergarten kid, and
Yep.
Yeah, you're getting a little personal.
Yeah. Oh, not my kid.
not my kid,
Not mine.
it's cool to see those magnets from Mexico and
Yeah.
Costa Rica or whatever. But sometimes I'd like to put them on the top. And sometimes I forget they're there, and I get a call from the agent. Oh, have you seen the magnets? Oh, yeah, they're on top of the fridge,
On top of the fridge, yeah.
But yeah, so, all those things. The reason I'm saying is because agents are paying for these photos, and why not have good photos and, a good video
Yeah.
if somebody's really spending money. And so we just have to make sure that everything is ready for those specific photos. And something that we do a lot is just, and I always tell like the other photographers, move things. If we have to move things, move it. You know,
Yeah.
if it's a trash can, if it's, I don't know, something like this on the counter, or whatever.
What
you
is
know.
that?
It's a drink.
It's our next
It's just a
sponsor.
drink.
just kidding, yeah.
Topo Chico. or
We're sponsored
whatever.
by Topo Chico.
Yeah.
Topo Chico Seltzer.
Yeah, and you know, just we always like to go out of our ways and make sure that realtors and you guys get some really good photos. You know.
Well, and us realtors are bougie. So
Oh,
if,
yeah.
if you mess, we're getting you back out in two.
yeah, there you go.
So
I
now
like
you got
it.
2 shoots. So
Yeah. So something like some real estate agents don't understand is like, yeah, we pay for those photos.
Mm-hmm.
We don't own those photos. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, you are the one that actually owns
Yeah.
the photos. And I'll tell you a trick about paying for photos.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get an expired listing
Mm-hmm.
and it's got some pretty cool photos, we just find the photographer and you
Yeah.
call them and say, hey, can I buy these photos
Yes, yes. And I got a few calls like that.
Yeah.
Not many, but just a few.
from you? Yeah,
You
every
know,
now and again.
and it's crazy because there's photographers that they really take this very seriously.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That they want to sell those photos for an outrageous price.
Yeah.
If I get
the cease and desist too.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
If I get a call, I just from another agent, I just tell him, hey, I'm gonna just talk to the agent because they went out of their way. Sometimes they stage it or whatever, and we just have to do everything ethical. If the agent is okay, then okay, let's just go ahead and move forward. And if the agent says, I don't feel comfortable, then out of respect, I just, even though we own
Yeah.
the photos,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to piss someone off, burn a
Exactly.
bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. That makes
Now
sense.
you got 2 clients. You're trying to
Yeah.
make both of them happy.
And then I tell the other client, you want photos? Hey, let's, we can get you those photos, and go take the same angles.
you can use all
Yeah.
my walkthrough videos for other agent if you want to. Be me in the videos.
Yeah.
So just videos to Baba Thompson.
There you go.
yeah, I'll have them now.
So it's like here's Jeff showing
Jeff.
off my new listing.
Yeah.
But being on video is important, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
I was going to ask you, how much pressure do you feel like having to follow trends and like keep up with the Joneses, like which?
yeah.
Because I'm sure, and we talk about this extensively when we do. Who's doing what? Like, what's the new trend that
Yeah.
people are doing?
Yeah.
Do you feel obligated to like, hey, offer that to a realtor? Like, hey, everybody likes bold jump
Letters
in
and,
letters
yeah.
and stuff.
Well, I don't think everybody likes the same stuff. But what's trending, it's what everybody or most want to do,
Yeah.
right? But my thing is, for a photographer, videographer, is just find your style, and then you sell that style, right?
Yep.
You tell the agent, hey, this is my style, and then if the agent says, well, I want, I can you do this? Then we're always open to those requests, right? I mean, I've had phone calls with agents that say, man, we like our videos to be, smooth and, where we can appreciate what we're seeing instead of all these
Yeah.
Yeah, the
transitions.
slow,
Yeah, which they're cool videos, not gonna lie, they're really cool. But we always have to think about what other agents are looking for as well. And being on knowing about the trends that are on the market right now, especially on real estate and videos. It's okay to do what others are doing, but to an extent.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it because I always look at it's kind of hot in the moment, but then
Yeah.
again, you're following the crowd, you're going to get lost in there. So
Yeah.
I always like kind of
Yeah.
always wanting to
hiring-
do something a little bit different to stand out.
Yeah.
a
Bubba
little
Thompson or XYZ,
bit. Yeah.
So
Well, it's all about branding, right?
Yeah,
Everything's
that's
about
what I say
branding.
that,
Yeah.
So you got to create.
well, then you
your
could
own.
fall into and we talked about this. Like I've had a couple of videos that were like I guess people really like. So it's like show up. They're like, "Are you gonna do that video for?"
Yeah.
And it's like it's draining because you like creatively come up with these videos to do.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And you're like, "Oh, okay." And sometimes like the one we did for Dry Creek or whatever.
Yeah.
It was in the moment. It
Yeah,
just kind of
you have
happens.
to-
Yeah, it's organic.
organic, very
Those are
organic.
the best. Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, now I got to go come up with this idea for that and this idea for this. And
Uh-huh.
what's going to be viral as opposed to like showcase the house,
Yeah.
because I'm kind of big on like more being the brand in it, but like
Yep.
selling the house,
Yeah.
as opposed to like
Yeah.
getting the views, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, being on video is important. Some agents don't like to be on video.
No, and they don't.
They
and
don't,
It's
and-
like, at first when I got in real estate, always laughed at all the agents, their picture on their cards, picture on their signs and all that. But I get it now. It's
Yeah.
like you have to be in front. Your face has
You
to
have
be.
to.
Yeah,
You have to.
So that's like me. If you look at my business cards, you look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
I have a blue jacket, a white shirt on, and
yes,
jeans, right?
That's good.
All the time. That's
Yeah.
my style, right?
fluid. Love it.
So now I can be 2 miles down the sidewalk down here, and somebody's going to recognize me.
Exactly.
Right?
See, that's
It's a good thing and a bad thing,
Yeah.
But that's why I did that.
Yeah.
I created that brand. And
hey, there
so-
goes Bubba Thompson. There
and
goes Bubba
it's,
Thompson.
it's true because now that you're saying that,
Yeah,
yes, that's when I think about Bubba, I'm thinking about boots, jeans.
yeah. You
and,
mentioned it when I walked
yeah,
in here.
and
'cause I
like
had this
where's your
t-shirt on.
blazer today?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's important. More than just selling a house, agents really need to understand that they're selling themselves too.
Sell yourself.
One of the things that I did at a presentation was when we see the Toyota sign. I mean, even though it's like the little weird T, whatever,
Yeah.
when people see it, they know it's a Toyota.
Yeah.
Because Toyota wants people to keep buying Toyotas.
Yep.
So what are people seeing in you that people want to say they're gonna refer you to their family member, to their friends? Oh, this person did great. Did a great transaction. He helped me a lot on the buying or selling a home. So more than just selling a house, branding and video, it's branding yourself.
Yeah.
For people to know, man, I want to go with this guy. I want to go with this lady. Because they do so good.
And you've recently kind of transitioned away from being so much on as far as like pictures on house shoots to like more like a content, social media for
Yes.
realtors and stuff. So you started kind of doing that a lot more lately too.
Yeah, because one of my things is I just want to help agents to not just get photos. I mean, taking photos is cool, but after a while, it's okay. There has to be something else,
Yeah.
So and then I get questions, what can you do? What can you tell me about this? So we talked with my brother and said we need to start offering and doing content for realtors, right? Where they can be out there and they can see who they are, put a face to their to what they do.
And we're not even just specifically talking about house tours and whatnot. You're talking about like talking head videos,
Podcasts,
podcasts, things
all
of that
this
nature.
stuff.
So
Yeah, there's just there's so many different avenues to go down.
Yep.
It's just and there's so many opportunities.
Yeah.
But it's not just about us, but it's when we have ourselves out there, it helps our clients.
Yes.
So it's
I think
it's a
that
big circle.
it builds trust, right?
Exactly.
Like you build trust when they see, oh, this person is doing so well with transactions, but also in their social media world.
Yeah, that's what Jeff likes to do. Put
Yeah.
how many houses he sold and
I like to brag, man. I got 8 million in the pipeline next month closing.
Yeah.
Come on.
Not really. But
yeah. But so I'm a big believer in know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
Right? People get to know you. If they like
There
you
you go.
and they trust you, they're going to do business with you.
That's right.
And
That's
you have to have all three of those.
You have to, I tell my guys that you have to be likable.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be likable. People tell me, you've been doing this 3 years. How you last so long? You just be nice to people.
Yeah.
You be nice to them, and you'll be okay. What is that saying? The customer is always right.
Yeah.
Is that really true?
no,
I don't think so.
that's Section B, Penal Code 3. It's somebody made it up for marketing a long time ago.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Where's that graphic at, Luke?
Yeah.
You still
Yeah,
got
can
that
you put
ready
it up
again?
there?
The views expressed in this.
Yeah, there you go. Appreciate it, Luke.
There you go.
He's on tonight.
That's it.
So another thing we do on our show here, we did the red flags earlier. We kind of do the pet peeves.
Pet peeves.
Did everybody
We like to
study
complain.
up the pet peeves? We all have pet peeves.
Yeah.
In real estate.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your pet peeves in photography?
I guess one of the main ones is, I know another photographer that can do it cheaper.
Yeah.
Everyone knows someone do it cheaper, right?
Yeah. There's always someone.
There's always, yeah. And when I get that email or text message, I'm just asking myself, oh, why are you coming to me?
Yeah.
So like bidding you.
Yes, right. And sometimes I fall for it, and I'm like, I fall for it.
I mean, it kind of depends. It's like, if you have the time to do it,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It kind of falls into that
Yeah.
know your worth conversation of
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
as real estate agents we get it all the time too. It's like, oh, I met with so and so and they said they could do it, and you're like,
Yeah.
which is a red flag as well. So
Yeah.
so if somebody leads the conversation with that,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, yeah.
yeah, I'm going to stay kind of on that too. I went to a listing appointment one time, and the seller, we sat down at the table, and she goes, "Well, give me your dog and pony show."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I don't have one. Sorry about that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's
that's
your
when
pitch?
I mean, I didn't even go through my pitch.
Yeah.
Or go through my normal stuff, because I was like, I don't even want this one.
Yeah.
And it was a big property, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
sometimes
they
it's not
usually
worth
don't
it.
sell quick, and that means you're stuck with.
They were also the ones that mentioned that they want to be present at every showing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See, I mean, even when it comes to photos,
Yeah.
When they say, "Oh, the owner wants to be there," is different than the owner is gonna be there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're gonna, like looking at me like, let's see what he's doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're just in the way.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yes.
All right. I mean, I think you and I experienced that
Yes.
on one of mine. It's like they were ready, but I mean, they were still like here and there, but they were getting stuff, and and I'm like, well, Valentin,
I've seen photos where before, you just don't get it, like you don't catch it, but where the owner is like on the photo, like on the very back.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, I missed that, But there's some owners that they get it and they're like, we're just gonna go in the car and we're gonna go drive off for 45 minutes and we come back.
Yeah. And that's
That's
the best
great.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and two, it's because you're not shooting one. You're like, hey, I'm here 10 to 11, then I got a 12 to 1. And so and when the more people present, the more you end up talking and and it's kind of like going to meet an inspector too early. Like let them do their job. They're gonna miss, then they end up missing things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that's one like.
If you take anything away from this podcast, sellers, just leave your house, man.
Yeah.
Like, get out of the
Yeah,
house.
it really is. Like,
honestly.
it's a business transaction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And
Yeah.
so just let people, do their thing. We'll take care of you.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right.
That's why you hire us.
Yeah. And agents being on photo shoots, that's good. And that's what I tell them all the time is like, because there's some specific angles they want or a specific photo they want. I mean, when we go, we're trained to just take photos of the space, but some agents want that specific, sink on the bathroom or whatever.
You want to highlight some things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's good to have that because they can tell us, oh, can you do a photo from here? That for me helps a lot. I don't feel like, oh, they're getting on the way. No, it just helps me because we want to do our job better, to get that right photo they want. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's it. It's all
good
your
stuff.
pet peeves, man. That's a pretty short list.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. I mean, besides the toilet seat being out.
Yeah, toilet seat,
Yeah.
garbage cans.
Yeah, garbage cans. Oh, gosh, yeah. When I see photos with the garbage can outside,
Yeah.
there's no way. I mean, it just takes 2 minutes to move them out.
Yeah.
Either, I mean, for whoever lives there, but also for us, the photographers.
Yeah.
Come on, they're our photos. We want to make sure people see that we got good photos. I mean,
the city of Denison on the side of it.
yes.
Yeah. Where's this house at?
Yeah.
That's a good looking trash can over there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because those photos, that's your brand,
Yeah.
that's your name on it. So
That's
you want
right.
to make sure they look good.
Yeah, but I highly encourage agents to really look into the video. Honestly, that's what it's right now. Everything video and try to be original. When it comes to the content, just be prepared and see what you want. More than just showcasing the house, but what can you do different? I mean, Jeff and I, he's always sending me videos. I think you send more videos.
I mean, I'm if I get out of real estate, I might be a videographer because
yes,
I know. Check this one out. So
yeah, not have to go through the tests and all the stuff.
yeah. I'm an idea man. They just shoot.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Don't slow me down, Valentin.
So what do you see that's probably working better right now? Your short form?
Short form are literally just what's hidden right now. Under a minute, that's it.
Yeah.
we don't have to showcase a whole house, just the main areas of the house, and then put your face in there, you know, and keep it short. A minute, you know, that's good. Now, if it's a walkthrough video, of course, it's gonna more be like a minute and a half. You know, you can put in YouTube, but I mean, people are scrolling through social media every day, all day. You know, why not just put a short video? You know, or even, you know, I tell the agents all the time, you know, just grab your phone and record yourself for a 30-second and tell us where you are. Tell us the network where you are, the network meeting. Tell us the festival you got on a Saturday morning, you know, and just do that. And people are going to start seeing, you know, you're working on your, like you were saying, you know, people know who you are because even of the way you dress, because that's what you put out there. So people need to start doing that. Agents need to start doing that.
Yeah, I think some of the faults that we have as agents sometimes, you know, we focus too much on the house.
Yeah.
You know, the real estate, and we don't focus enough on community.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And that's where it's all at.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I mean, it's like when I started doing all the community videos years ago, that's where, like, you know, real estate agents that want leads, that's where people are calling you from.
Yeah.
You know, they're not calling you from 123 Main Street video. They're calling you because, oh, you're the guy that knows this area.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, or gal.
You're the
that knows
local
area.
expert.
Yeah, you're the local expert or whatever.
Yeah, just showcase the community, what's around. And Jeff does that. He's pretty good at it. I mean,
He's funny.
Yeah,
Have you seen some of his videos? I mean, I'm sure you have. But.
No, I don't think I've seen those videos. I wonder who's making those.
Who are you? It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
No, yours are pretty funny. Those are very. He's very creative. So follow Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff is like on it.
Well, y'all are setting the bar too high now. I gotta like I said.
Hey,
earlier,
come on,
like,
bring it down.
Like the seller's like, I really like that video. Now you got to go redo it. Now I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be in the lab just. It's like, what are we gonna do next? So you kind of lose. You know, it gets stressful. I mean,
no, it can't. Yeah,
it
it
can.
definitely can. Yeah, you can. You know, what do they call it? Burnout.
burnout.
Yeah.
You can definitely do that. So where I was getting burnt out is editing.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh gosh.
Especially long form.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the editing. Oh gosh.
You know, 10
That's
minutes
why I don't do
can take
weddings.
you 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, geez. So.
Yeah. But I mean, you guys know the importance of video because you guys do it. You know, and it's what you do, Bubba. It's great. You know, just do what happens in the city, you know, and people don't see you only as a realtor, but as an influencer in this town. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like the next level, you know, and agents really need to start paying attention and start doing that. You know, I want to be that agent that people can trust because they know me through the stuff that I put on my social media or on these platforms, right? And then it doesn't have to be, I mean, some things need to be rehearsed, but most of the time it's just you on the go, right?
Yeah.
You just do it and it's just great.
I think a lot of that is kind of like we discussed, it not only establishes the brand, but it kind of does the interview process for you.
There you
because
go.
you go to sit in with a buyer, you go to sit in with a listing, and they're like, I already trust you because I know you.
Yeah.
So it's,
There you go.
you know, you already
got
that rapport, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's just another way of, you know, always say introducing yourself to people without actually going out and actually physically handshaking with
Kissing
someone.
babies.
Exactly.
Yeah, kissing babies. Yeah, you're out there on video.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the way to go. I mean, people, like you said, people are on their phones just constantly. So you know, why not be on there? Why not be the one? I mean, I got a huge listing a few years ago, and the guy said they were these partners, and they're out the lake smoking cigars, drinking Jack Daniels, and they were trying to figure out who they were going to have list their lake property, and they were scrolling, and the one guy was scrolling through Facebook, and he said, I kept on popping up. Yeah, and that's why they called.
And that's how they got. You see how it works.
I never knew them.
Yeah,
that's
didn't
crazy.
have any connections with them, but my videos.
But that helped. Yeah. That's interesting. That's pretty
cool.
So
it went into several different other properties too.
Yeah,
so.
it's great.
Never know.
You never know.
You see, that's why branding is important, man. Like,
absolutely.
Like, you know, is that Toyota? Well, is that agent, right? They trust you and they refer you to the next one, and
Well, it also like helps you because you can kind of decide what you want to be in a sense. You know, I mean, obviously you want to be authentic, you want to be yourself, but you kind of start to pick who you're working with. The further you get along in it, so, and it makes it 100 times more enjoyable in that sense.
Yeah. So. And real quick, one of the things that through these 3 years that I've learned a lot with social media trends is, people, they want to be educated on something, right? More than just watching a video. What can I get? What value am I getting with this video? This is why, doing content, even like a podcast like this, people are being educated, right? And then now AI can clip those video into like 30-second segments, and it's very, very interesting.
Yeah. So I always say education and entertainment.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what people want.
And you keep it up. You keep a balance, through what you're posting on a weekly, whatever, and entertain to things that you do, but also every now and then educate on the market or what happens in real estate, and any niche really, like even on real estate photography, media, our job was to educate agents like you guys, so it's very important.
That's right. We need education.
Always.
All right, man. We got anything else to kind of crazy stories to tell?
I don't have any. Are we doing a pet peeve, or we're just leaving Valentine?
I think
Just
we
Valentine's
you have a pet. Oh no! Man,
I want to hear those.
You probably prep for like 3 days.
I stayed up late.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
saw
your
your
pet peeve. Your pet peeve is that I was trying to close out the show before you got to do your
You
pet
didn't
peeve.
let me have my 15 minutes.
All right. So
dialogue.
here's Jeff Dowden, brought to you by
Toyota and Topo Chico.
Topo Chico.
and Target.
Okay, so I will do a pet peeve, and this is one that Valentin and I have discussed in length. I think it kind of falls through here. I'm not going to say names or anything, but one of my biggest pet peeves is people that, we use real estate, but they use other people to build their own business. So people that are like, oh, I got this listing, and this is what I did that the other realtor didn't, and I got, I did this photo shoot, and I did this because this other realtor didn't. It's like, it's like, and it bugs me when like Wendy's does it to Burger King too. So it's not like exclusive, It's like one of my biggest pet peeves is like building your business off the back of other people, and putting them down,
putting someone down, so you can be on top.
Because I mean, you don't know what they did, or people that like get expired listings or canceled listings, and they come in and. We know how they got them,
I totally just went through that on a list. I got a listing that someone else had previously, and they were like, well, and I was like, I kind of stood. I said, well, you have to understand. Here's the way the market is right now, and so instead of trying to beat them up.
When it's new and they're quick to be like, oh, you did a great job because this and this, but I've had them where the seller's like, I think you did amazing. But this other person came in, they're offering me way less, and you're like, I can't match that. Yeah. And the next thing you know, they're on TV. They're like, we did this. And I'm like, come on. You did it for a lot less, So it's like, and I know Valentin's been through that as well. And I mean, you have, I'm sure. So, But, just people that use other people to push themselves. So.
We just always have to think about, everybody's trying to hustle. And
I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
Get business how you get business.
Get at it, but trying to put somebody else down.
We're on this.
So I always say hustle until you don't have to introduce yourself.
Oh,
I think.
Can you write it down?
You and Jay-Z said that. Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z said that too.
That's a really good statement for like Twitter or something.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, if you're quoting or semi-quoting Jay-Z, you're doing it right. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know Jay-Z said it. I saw it somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
it was. Said it, but
we can quote it Jay-Z 3 times.
Does this look back? I mean, was he talking about like Diddy?
This is 90s Jay-Z.
Oh,
are we going to talk? All right. Let's talk Diddy. All right, the next part of the podcast.
The diddler.
So who's watching the Diddy trial now?
Oh man, but for real.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Are you for real? Like some of that stuff.
Some real stories,
dude. That is wild.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, that's just not. I mean, that's not.
I didn't see it coming.
For real.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Like some crazy.
I did.
Stuff
I still
happening.
think he had something to do with Biggie and Tupac back in the day.
Yeah,
that dude's he's had that cringe to me since '96, man.
Can you put there we're not lawyers, please? Can you put it?
Yeah. Run it. Luke, I did not accusing. Oh, God. Tax assessor now. Diddy lawsuit defamation.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, so I think
next
we should probably just end this on the Diddy.
Oh yeah,
right
on Me
Yeah.
saying that, did he kill Tupac?
Yeah.
Did he kill Tupac?
All right, we're going to end that with Jeff Dowden. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us again. Yeah, there goes. There's that disclaimer. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging out. All right, go get your photography done.
Yeah,
do
just
it right.
yeah. Ask us. We'll take care of you.
All right,
That was fun.
Thank you.
see y'all later.
Hope I didn't get us in too much trouble.
No, we're good. Yeah.